Right, while I'm waiting to get that other screw out at the back, decided to show you how to get these off. Look, it's quite simple. When you unscrew this, don't pull anything. Just unscrew it completely. That will then go back on here. It will just travel back. I'll just take it off for a minute. You've then got a split collet inside, if you can see it. Can you see it's got a split? Use a screwdriver, a long bladed screwdriver, to just put inside there in that edge and just lever it out. Now as you lever it out, this will gradually come out. Try and take it out nice and clean. There we go. And then after that, that will come out and you can pull this off, no problem, because of course it's not tight on there. It's this that's done, that's tight and gives you the seal. So that's all it is. It's nice and simple really. And you've got the rubber at the back, so make sure you don't lose the rubber gasket either, because that's what does the biz. So I'll just pop that back in there like that, and I'll pop that on there like that. You'll have to forgive me because I'm holding the camera at the same time I'm doing all this. Now the top one of course has got this pipe coming over. That's an expansion pipe which usually travels over and goes down through a hole in the bottom of the van. So any hot water, of course, as it expands, it travels up there and it dumps a little bit down on the back. So don't ever be surprised if you get a little bit of water. Don't think it's a water leak or anything like that. Now I understand that these can be very delicate sometimes, these. So especially the top one, because it's very thin and it's stainless steel, and you do not want to damage this. So make sure that you get this collet right out as much as you can before you actually start pulling at it. Otherwise you'll snap that pipe off and it's a devil of a job to get done. Right, the pipe that I was talking about at the top, the one that contains the expansion pipe that comes off it, you've got to be careful of this one. This is the one that I said that you mustn't wiggle it about because you'll snap it. I've seen a couple of videos where this has happened, and to try and get this welded back on, being stainless steel, very, very difficult and very, very costly. So be very gentle when you're doing that. Don't pull it about. That is the main top part of the cistern now. No insulation, you'll notice, which is interesting. So it keeps the under sink quite warm. And the gas pipe I've now removed. So everything's ready to come out now, except for that stupid screw. So I'll be popping along to a neighbour shortly and see if I can get it sorted. One of my neighbours has been able to help me out. Had to rig up a long Tommy bar with a Phillips on the end to get to the back of that unit so that I could undo the screw. And as luck would have it, it's come out. It's actually undone. Now before I move the unit, now I've got it all unscrewed, I'm just going to make a pencil line round the base here, and by using a pencil line at least I've got something then that I know I can line up to exactly so that everything goes back in its identical position. So I'll do that now. Doing it like this, just make sure that everything goes back as it should, and then after that I'll have no hassles. Always best to be safe. The unit came out nice and easy, and look at this, look. I wonder how long that's been down there. Do you remember we saw it on the endoscope? Corned beef key. I've not got a lot of room inside my van, as you can see. It's only dinky. It's a 5.2 metre, and I've got to be a bit careful with this. Incidentally, do not lift the unit with the pipes. I know it's you know, you'd think it's a good way of doing it, but just don't be tempted to grab hold of them. Pick it up by the base, and if you do that, you're not going to damage anything. Right, the next thing is to get this off, and the first thing you can see is the circuit board there. This down here is the igniter. That's the thing that you hear ticking that gives you the spark, and you'll notice that up here is a fuse. Now if the unit gets no power at all, you can't hear no clicking, you don't get no lights on the controller or anything like that, go straight to the fuse. It's quite easy to replace by the look of it, and it looks like the circuit board actually just pulls out, so it's not hard to get to. So anyway, the next thing is to get this cover off, which is only thin plastic, and I'm going to have a look because I think it's round the back that it's being held. Now the cover, this cover here, is not screwed on in any way, but you'll notice there's some sort of bendy cutouts, and I've got a feeling that you've got to remove this or else fold it down so that you can move it up to clear the flange that sits inside here to actually unclip it. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. Right, these little tools are ideal for digging things out. Only cheap, but they're handy. Now I think I can put it in the back there and pull that down. And as you can see, by pulling it down like that, get my finger in there now. I wouldn't have been able to get it otherwise. That's good enough. And now I should be able to lift it up, and that should be able to come unclipped from there. Let's have a look and see if it does. We're nearly there. Not quite. Might be a two-handed job. So I think I'm gonna have to put this down and do a two-handed job. Right, that part's now come unclipped from there. So now I can bring that round there and slide this out, I think. Let's have a look. That's it. That's it. There we go. And that will now come off. This is the motherboard. I've just unclipped it from the base section there. That's quite interesting, and there's just two clips there, and they engage, I suspect, onto the back of the board. Oh, I see, to there. They go into there. Can you see that? They engage on there, and that's what delivers the HT. Board's nice and clean. Don't think there's any issues there. And I can see that the fuse is fine, so that's alright. No hint of any problems on the back of the board. And I would think they would charge you an absolute fortune for this. Right, once the case is teased off very gently, you're then left with just this. You've got the base and the unit here. Now I don't know what the hell this is. It doesn't make a lot of sense because it can't be a seal, surely. Unless it is, I'm not sure. But there you go, I'm still feeling my way here. There's 4 bolts here, which should allow you to withdraw the burner. So that's going to be my next choice. I've got the unit out at the bottom, but that doesn't really help me because I'm not seeing inside far enough. I'm certainly not seeing the burner. Right, looking inside, this is all I've exposed, but I'm not actually looking at the burner itself. All I'm looking at is the solenoid and the connections. So I've got to find another way. So I'm going to remove the top, that part there. You can see this is a clamp basically. So I'm going to remove that and see how we get on there. I've got to get that burner. Gently teased the container out. Be very careful. This is your 240 volt element if you ever have to replace that. These on here I'm not too sure what they are. I would suspect possibly over temperature. Not sure what they are there. But they are heat sinked to the actual container. They might be for temperature, don't know. And there's your burner in the bottom. So that's your actual burner there. And there's loads of crap down there, there really is. So I don't know how badly. Look at this lot, look at all this, look. All debris. Have to hoover that out. That's not good at all. So the burner actually sits underneath this pot, if you like, and it heats it up, and then after that the heat is conducted to the top all the way around, and then after that it exits through the exhaust. So now it's a case of having a look at the jet and see what's going on with it. Well, now I've had a good look, I can see what my problem is. If you look at where the light is illuminating that electrode there, you'll see that it doesn't connect to the flame, and it's as I expected. It's a transfer from the actual end of the electrode through the flame to earth. So that's the safety point. Don't use a thermocouple anymore. But if you can have a look, I don't know if you can see it there, if I can get it any better with the light, but it's actually a split on the, now I can see it a bit better there. There's a split on the actual ceramic, and of course any moisture, anything like that will allow a fractional amount of energy to travel through to earth, and that will shut off the solenoid, and that is what I can see is happening. The ignition is working fine, the burner is okay. I can't get to the jet, but I would suspect that is okay, but that is the reason that it's shutting off and I'm getting the red light. If you can see there, I'll see if I can get it a bit better. Ooh, it's a bit difficult, depends how I get the light, but you can actually see the crack going from the end of the electrode. If I keep moving it about, I don't know, end of the electrode up here, right the way through to about there. So that split is what's causing me the issue. Whether I can get another one, I just don't know. This is going to be hard. Oh dear.